Gentlemen, they've raised some issues, two basic issues, concerns regarding security as we head to the polls in a few hours. And they've also talked about mix-ups of essential materials, sensitive materials, which we heard. I think someone mentioned Kwara State and a few others. They seem to be isolated, but are they strong enough for us to be concerned for the elections tomorrow or today? Today, later today.
I think that although they weren't pervasive, but they were strong enough for us to be concerned. Why? Because INEC has had an additional 1 week after the last failure. And indeed, we weren't expecting, therefore, that we should be learning about the wrong destination of certain sensitive materials, resource sheets that were meant for Kano State, for example, or some northern state being found in the southwest, and vice versa, and all that. That undermined the confidence that INEC had tried to build all week long, up to this, the eve of this election yesterday when we learned about that. And that was problematic. But that said, I think that INEC knew that the Nigerian people weren't going to take another failure anymore. And so wherever those resource sheets were, even if they are going to dispatch the presidential jet on request to go and fetch those resource sheets, I think that INEC would do the needful. So Nigerians should be rest assured that they will have these resource sheets in those places tomorrow. Nigerians don't want to hear that the resource sheets, today, sorry, the resource sheets weren't there. Now, on the issue of security, I think that, yes, security of our electoral process is really not in the hand of INEC. But we expect that INEC works in synergy with the security agencies to ensure that our election is well secure. And so the security agencies are giving the assurances. I think that the president's speech at his party function raised the thermometer, the political temperature. And I think that the president's latter statement also doused the tension a great deal. And so everybody believes that they will be able to go to the polls without any trepidation or apprehension that they will come to harm. I don't want to delve into the literature or the jurisprudence of what the president said, and there's been a lot of talk about that. But suffice it to say that the Electoral Act and the electoral offenses created therein do not totally displace our criminal law. So, if brigands are going to snatch ballot boxes, are going to do a lot of mischief during electioneering, actually, and they are armed with guns, that implicates the issue of firearms, illegal possession of firearms. They're going to maim and kill, that implicates the issue of attempted murder or murder. These are offenses outside the purview of the Electoral Act. And so a responsible state cannot say, we won't deal with those offenses that are being committed in the course of election. No, there is no responsible state that will say that. But I know that because a government in a democracy is constituted by a political party that is also interested in an election, once that government makes that kind of statement, people tend to see that statement as partisan and political. And then they begin to express
some kind of desperation
on the part of government and all that. So the precincts of election, the polling booths will not be guarded by armed security personnel. That's given. That's what the law requires. But we also expect that further afield, there will be security agents armed who will be ready to be called in to protect lives of Nigerians.
Let's take this to Abuja.
Nigerians do not want to be killed in the course of performing their civic responsibility.
Yeah, let's
exactly, Kayode. I was actually thinking about, bringing in the security expertise of General Esekaigbe over there in Abuja. Now, General Esekaigbe, Nigeria's political process appears to be in a dilemma. The issue of thuggery and brigandage on the one hand, and of course the issue of providing security for the elections on the other hand. Now, if security is not heightened, then of course we have incidences of thuggery, diversion of electoral materials, brigandage and all that. And then of course the government now moves in and then says, okay, let's provide security. It then intensifies, heightens security, and then there is the accusation of what they call militarization of politics, bringing in the army, the Air Force, and of course the armed forces generally to provide support for the police, and then the accusation of militarization of elections. So how do we find a balance?
Well, thank you very much. First and foremost, I would say that Nigeria should make conscious effort to grow our democracy to the extent that at a time we will not really need security agencies as a requirement for peaceful conduct of election. Be that as it may, like GT said, the Constitution is very clear on the role of the armed forces. For example, we have aid to civil authority and civil power. And in this election, don't forget that it is the INEC that asks for the military support. And the military, too, is a national asset. The military is used for escort of sensitive material to some places and also securing those materials in the places they are kept. But for the conduct of the election, the first responders are the Nigerian police. And the military are going to be doing some patrol. Like we said, if you have thugs who are armed and they are coming to cause harm or even kill Nigerians, the police, when they are overpowered, will call the military to come and assist. And the question of what the president said that is causing so much tension, and I think his two broadcasts and what the IG said today would have cleared all ambiguity surrounding it. Now, the president is the president of this country. Forget the part that is a candidate in this election. There are some high intelligence that are made available to him, and that intelligence will be shared on need-to-know basis. So, when they anticipate, the actions of some hostile elements who are desirous of causing harm in the name of snatching ballot boxes and all that, the law made provisions for how they are going to be tackled. The Nigeria military is a professional outfit, and I can assure you that any task given to them, they will do it professionally. In this case, you must make conscious effort to separate brigands who are wearing military uniform from real military men. For instance, the statement of the Chief of Army Staff of recent clearly buttressed this professional conduct of the military. And he clearly stated to the military that, look, any army officer or a soldier that get involved with civilians or politicians in the bid of continuing these offenses will be thoroughly dealt with and they will face the full consequence. Two, just 2 days ago, they opened an ops room to monitor the elections and monitor the armed forces members that will participate in the election, whichever guys. Whether the INS asks them to come and secure elections, whether the INS asks them to come and provide outer corridor for safety, there are rules of engagement which they will follow. And I want to assure Nigerians that this election will be peaceful because the flashpoints have been earmarked and the professional competence of the new IG has beginning to boost the confidence of Nigerians. As a matter of fact, the arrests in Kwara and Kano has shown that they are up to the task. Where they overpowered, they will call the military to assist. Like GT, the lawyer, said, we will not use the Electoral Act to obfuscate the Constitution because we will not fold hands and allow talks or allow politicians to use talks to maim innocent Nigerians or to scare them away from voting. So the armed forces, if they are calling, they will conduct their acts professionally in accordance with the law. So for these elections, the professionals of the military and the police will be jealously guided, and I ask INEC to take seize of the matter because any form of tardiness will make a spark than because of violence.
I'm still going to stay with you. I'm still going to stay with you concerning security. And like my colleague here said, it seems that we're trying to strike a balance between ensuring that there is security or our election process is secured, whether for the people or for the process of election operations itself. Now, a lot of people have asked for the steady incremental deployment of ICT in the conduct of our elections. Do you think that the faster or the more we engage ICT in the conduct of our elections, such that we have less people traveling to vote, we also have less people moving around, and people can actually vote from the comfort of their bedrooms or from their laptops or from a safe place, puts less pressure on security and removes any form of ambiguities in terms of the involvement of the security forces in our electioneering?
Evidences abound where ICT-driven elections have shown a lot of limitations. In some advanced countries, they tried it and they have to jettison it because of the obvious limitations. But be that as it may, any device that will help to booster or engineer the growth of democracy in this country can be tried. But over-reliance on ICT also have its own limitations. For example, you need light to charge your phones. In rural communities, how many of them have access to this electricity? Even in the urban areas, how many hours do you have light in a day? So that's one of the challenges of these card readers. If you have to look for generators to charge them, to make them functional at the same time, you will not see the limit of technology. But security as it is, we need to grow our democracy by complete sensitization. Let people know that this is not a do or die matter. Let election contest be a referendum on the government that is in power. Let the government know that if they do not perform to the aspiration of the people, they are going to be voted out. So when you abide the tenets of democracy, knowing fully well that, as it were, if you do not perform, you will be voted out, not reliance on monetization of elections. And the danger there is that, like one man said earlier, that people are hungry, there is poverty, so they feel this is my own time. It is not so. Those people must also be told that you are selling the future of your children's comfort. Your children will not be able to go to school because the politician has given you 5,000 naira for this election. When he gets to the office, he's going to look for how to recoup his money. So who suffers? It's our kids that will not be able to go to school, who will not have access to clean water, and who will not have good road for the farmers to market their products. So there is need to grow our democracy to let people know what the benefits of democracy really is. So monetization, vote buying, and all those things are really not a consequence of hunger. It's a question of, look, if you do this, you are selling the future of your children. So there needs to be a conscious effort. So whether you stay in your house to vote, there still have to be security because these politicians will look for you wherever you are. So it is not staying at home to vote or voting in the public that is the issue. People must be conscious of the fact that, yes, I will have to take the destiny in my hand to make sure my country gets the best that it deserves. For instance, tomorrow, I can assure you that there will be peaceful conduct of the elections. There will not be any security challenge that will cause a problem in the conduct of the election. But where the problem is going to come from likely is the collation of the results. And People are being confronted with so many regulations they are not used to. How many people in this outdoor category are able to explain these complexities that surround the conduct of the election at that particular point? So when we grow our democracy, and INEC must take seizure of the matter and know that, yes, you have gone to this stage, given a good preparations, not backed up by full implementation, it's going to be a crisis point.
Wonderful
so
thoughts.
We should grow our democracy and take it to a level where we have confidence in ourselves.
General Esekagbe, thank you very much for your thoughts there. Actually, very enlightening perspective on the issue of security and our electioneering.